You did used to work for him.
I did. I'm speaking from experience. I tried to fix problems in this province, and he kept getting in his way and all his goons around him all the time. They wouldn't make anything better. And now we're seeing him because this guy's a political genius because he beat Bonnie Crombie and Stephen Del Duca. And now we got to sit around getting advice from him? No. He has taken the provincial Conservative Party and turned it into something hollow, unprincipled, something that doesn't solve problems. He's glad-handing with Chrystia Freeland, having coffees and lattes with Mark Carney. And I'm sitting here saying we need to be fighting for change and something new and something different, not being a hype man to the Liberal Party.
So do you see Doug Ford as a problem for the federal party in the outcome of this race?
I see Doug Ford as a problem for Ontario and for Canada. I think he's not doing a great job in running this province, and now he's trying to exercise his influence over other levels of government, and it's not like this guy is doing anything particularly well.
I'm going to hold his feet to the fire. We're going to work well together.
As you hold his feet to the fire, you're going to work well together. Ooh.
This is the worst torture method in the entire world.
Not my feet, you old dirty pervert.
Right, boss.
In Canadian federal politics, the Canucks are represented by two separate yet unequal groups. The globalists who sold out and the opposition trying to salvage a country. These are their stories.
We have to make sure that we move fast, immediate, or if not, President Trump is going to eat our lunch.
Oh, yeah.
If I were to say something like, Doug Ford is a bum, what would be your response? Like, I'm not a conservative. I voted that way in the last federal election. Yeah, it didn't go our way, but nevertheless, the way I see it, Doug Ford is a bum. Like, looking for free lunches that Donald Trump is going to steal. This guy was a major factor in the election loss, I believe. Like, he did not try to help the Conservative Party federally, whatever he was doing. Doug Ford, go and have a great time somewhere else. Like, go have a free lunch.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Is, there have been electoral boundary changes for this election, and this riding certainly among them, but much of it was former Conservative leader Erin O'Toole's riding. In the by-election following his resignation, it was Jamil Jivani who won that. And
okay, guys, one of our favorites to watch here, Jamil Jivani, is going to reveal quite a bit here.
Jamil Jivani winning again tonight. Congratulations,
Thank
first
you very
of all.
much. Yeah, we have a great team here in Bowmanville, Oshawa North. Very excited and happy to bring home a victory.
I do want to ask you, Mr. Jivani, because you've just spoken to your supporters, a large group that's here at the pub here in Bowmanville, North Oshawa, and you said to them, among other things, that Doug Ford was a problem for you in this campaign. You said that he sabotaged the Conservative campaign. That's your words. You said he was a hype man for the Liberals. Take me through how you see that.
Yeah, well, look, Doug Ford just went through an election. I have differences of opinion with him. I don't like how he's managed healthcare or education, but out of respect, we didn't say anything. Federal party, we didn't get in his way. When it was our turn to run an election, he couldn't stay out of our business, always getting his criticisms and all his opinions out, distracting our campaign, trying to make it about him, trying to position himself as some kind of political genius that we needed to be taking cues from.
Was it him specifically? Was it his campaign manager, Corey, tonight? Do you see Doug Ford as a problem for the federal party in the outcome of this race?
I see Doug Ford as a problem for Ontario and for Canada. I think he's not doing a great job in running this province, and now he's trying to exercise his influence over other levels of government, and it's not like this guy is doing anything particularly well.
You did used to work for him.
I did. I'm speaking from experience. I tried to fix problems in this province, and he kept getting in his way and all his goons around him all the time. They wouldn't make anything better, and now we're seeing him because this guy's a political genius because he beat Bonnie Crombie and Stephen Del Duca, and now we got to sit around getting advice from him? No. He has taken the provincial Conservative Party and turned it into something hollow, unprincipled, something that doesn't solve problems. He's glad-handing with Chrystia Freeland, having coffees and lattes with Mark Carney. And I'm sitting here saying we need to be fighting for change and something new and something different, not being a hype man to the Liberal Party.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Some would argue that the challenge within the federal Conservative movement is that there are these divisions that in some ways you're outlining tonight, and that it is the thing that stops or prevents, holds back the federal party from the majority government that it seeks. Do you see that as a possible outcome to some of the fractions and frictions that exist within the federal party?
There is a lot of unity from conservatives across the board. Peter MacKay and Stephen Harper and Jason Kenney, James Moore, all sorts of people who've been part of our movement for a long time, united behind Pierre. They're opportunists like Doug Ford. And I think it's not about ideology or differences of beliefs. It is about some people believing our purpose as conservatives is to be an alternative to what the Liberals offer. And then there are people like Doug Ford who are opportunists. And I reject that outright.
Do you have any leadership ambitions?
Look, we have a leader of our party right now. We're still waiting in for the final seat counts. I don't know what tomorrow holds. My focus, though, is on all the young people, all the parents, the moms, the dads who came to us and trusted us to offer an alternative, a brighter future. We're going to see that through. We're going to keep fighting. And when the next federal election comes around, conservatives will earn the trust of more voters, and we will bring home a victory nationally.
My last question to you looks at the results. As we speak here right now, 160 for the Liberals, 151 for your Conservatives. This is a lot closer of a race than some had expected. Why do you think that is?
Well, look, I think a lot of people misunderstood just the frustration that Canadians felt. All these polls that showed Conservatives far below the Liberals, I think we're missing how many young people saw our party as the party of dreamers and hustlers and strivers and builders. That is our identity for young people, and we are going to continue offering them that vision for Canada. As we continue to see progress made, earning more trust, growing our party, getting more union support, police support, young families, working class families, I think we will see this identity that Pierre Poilievre has helped develop crystallize further, and our party will only go up from here.
Jamil Jivani, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Adrian, I will turn back to you from Jamil Jivani's victory party here in Bowman.
After Ford was asked if he had any regrets.
I'm the Premier of Ontario. I have to make sure that we focus on driving economic, the economy moving forward, economic prosperity.
But last night, former Ontario advisor turned Conservative MP Jamil Jivani laid into the Premier.
But what they're doing is being paid to spread chaos.
Accusing him of being a Liberal hype man, calling his campaign comments sabotage.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about Ontario driving prosperity.
Ford wouldn't weigh in on whether he thinks Poilievre should step down, but insists the federal Conservative leader's gig is not on his radar.
I'm focused on Ontario. I love my job. I have the best job in the entire world.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Did they get a bonus, a raise, or do they get fired?
As opposition leader, it was one of Pierre Poilievre's favorite talking points.
In the real world, when people don't do their jobs, they lose them.
Despite not winning the election or even his own seat, Poilievre says he will stay on as Conservative leader.
It is really hard to put lipstick on a pig.
WTF. And everything on which the Prime Minister spends gets worse and more costly. He is spent and Canadians are broke. The country is broken. We have a doubling of housing costs. We have 8,000 people joining a Facebook group to study how they can get a meal out of a garbage can after food prices have gone up faster than at any time in a generation because of the carbon tax he's imposing on our food, a carbon tax that with the help of the NDP, he plans to quadruple to 61 cents a liter. And today, did he learn anything from these catastrophic failures? No, he doubles down on the same failure. With $40 billion of new deficits, $40 billion of new spending, that's to say $2,400 for every family in new debt and new inflationary spending. And now, for the first time in a generation, we're spending more on debt interest than on healthcare. That's money for bankers and bondholders rather than doctors and nurses.
Right.
And the great example of how wonderful government can be, given after a tremendous theatrical pause, was the government's purchase of the Trans Mountain Pipeline. What would have happened if the government had just gotten out of the way? Asked the finance minister. The answer is the thing would have got built with private money rather than $30 billion of taxpayer bailouts.
That's right.
In fact, a project the Prime Minister said would cost $5 billion is up to $30 billion. Wow. Mr. Speaker, that is 500% over budget. It is $2,000 in costs for every single Canadian family for a project the private sector was going to be building on its own, and the company that was going to build it bought out, taking the money to Texas, where they're building Texan pipelines with Canadian dollars. All of our exes are in Texas, Mr. Speaker. And then, to close it off, we got some of the most hair-raising ideological fervor from the minister, who says that what Canadians really need is a stronger government. Well, they have created a stronger government in order to make for weaker and more suffering people. This is not a government that gives people everything they want. It's a government that takes everything they have. But the good news, Mr. Speaker, is we want big Canadian citizens with a smaller and more efficient government where the state is servant and not master, where our priorities are clear: to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. As soon as the NDP takes away its support from this Prime Minister, we will have a carbon tax election where the people will be able to make that decision for themselves in a country where they can earn powerful paychecks that buy affordable food, gas, and homes in safe neighborhoods. The country that we all knew and still love. A country based on the common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Your home, my home, our home. Let's bring it home.
I'm going to hold his feet to the fire. We're going to work well together.
As you hold his feet to the fire, you're going to work well together.
Oh, yeah.
Not my feet, you old dirty pervert.
To work together for the common good.
God damn it, that's not news! What about us?
Cut it out. Get out of here.
And friends, tomorrow we are going to be visiting with a fisherman who will tell us about his very enjoyable hobby. Now, I would like to see you all through our magic mirror. Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me, do. Magic mirror, please tell me today, did all of my friends have fun at play? I see all of my friends in Alberta. It's nice to see you. And I see Dan and Vivian. I see Marlon and Mona. I see Catherine and Harley. I see Anne and Elizabeth and Jane. I see Bert and Nicole, and I see you too. I hope to see you tomorrow, right here in Romper Room.
Bing bong, knock knock, hey daddy do. Bing bong, tick